British Council is a cultural relations organisation. We connect people. We connect people from the UK to other countries and also within regions and globally. And as a global organisation, global challenges like climate change are an important aspect of our work, to bring people together to share understanding, to share ideas, to share new approaches, and also to build bridges and build understanding on this particular issue. Because issues like climate change cannot be solved by just one country alone. We need to work together. And as a cultural relations organisation, we are ideally placed to bring people together into platforms where people can discuss these important issues and agree on actions to take.
It has been 3 years since LRQA and British Council conceived and supported eIDEA. And it's amazing to see what it has achieved so far and how everyone is talking about it. Now, all these 40 eIdealists are gathered here in Indonesia to attend this workshop, and we hope that this would be very useful for them when they go home and implement their own projects.
As Indonesian people, we're very lucky. We have all the ingredients to become something. I mean, like, we have high biodiversity, and then we have smart people, very, very smart and creative people. And what we have to do is just maintain it and collaborate it to make something with a value add for the nation too. And within the global maps, I think Indonesian also have their best people also outside the country. So if we want to elaborate all the potential we have, all our people within the globes, I think we can do something better, more than for only Indonesia, but also for the world also.
So to tackle climate change, many agents need to take action from many different sectors. But I think entrepreneurship is a very interesting area to focus on, because those are people who are very much linked into their communities. They also have innovative ideas about how to approach problems and challenges, and they have energy and enthusiasm. So we see entrepreneurs as change agents in their local community. So we hope that not only through their projects they will have impact, but they will inspire others to take action on the issue of climate change.
Because we think to see our city is look better and to be green and to be matched with the cultures. Because like I mentioned, our city, we conserve like a long history of the cultures. And we think if better, if our city will be green and also can be matched with the Lana culture.
Basically, I designed this really low-cost surgical lamp. This surgical lamp is for developing nations. Let's use Africa as an example. In Africa, they use kerosene lanterns to light surgery. So where they don't have access to electricity, they just use these fires, little flames, to light emergency surgery at night time to deliver babies in maternity wards.
There are almost 900 million square meters just vacant roofs which we can use. So we think, why don't we use these roofs, and how can we use them? We not only for our project, we aim to not only plant those vegetables instead of flowers, shrubs and grass, but also we want to just integrate this rainwater storage system and solar energy facilities to make full use of these things, and especially we want to get Shanghai more greener and make a better environment for people who living and working in this city. They have more chance to close to the nature, and it's good for their health. I saw that one of the biggest issue in Indonesia is about how we can reduce the energy consumption of fuel. And then after I graduate, I see like that our transportation is one of the biggest contributor about energy emission. And then I think we must to do something about that. Transportation is the second largest contributor of energy emissions, CO2 emissions actually, and then with one car we can reduce up to 0.79 tons CO2 per year. And our project is starting with 500 vehicles, and then we are going to expand it within 5 years into 100,000 vehicles that probably can reduce the emission about 1 gigatons CO2 per year.
Sometimes we try to understanding only very intimate society, means only concerning about the human. But also we are kind of like a human is only single factor, which consisting entirely whole society of the world. So we need to observe now, more carefully observe what's happening entirely our world.
So we live in a world now with global challenges, and one of the biggest global challenges we face is climate change. And many sectors need to take action to tackle this particular problem. And there's government, there's media, there's education. There are many areas that we need to take action to tackle this challenge together. And e-IDEA is one aspect of tackling this challenge by looking at community-based approaches, small businesses and entrepreneurs, and seeing how they can contribute to making the world a more sustainable world. So with e-IDEA we have initiatives from many different areas, from agricultural, from education programs, from industrial design, for urban living, like urban farming, many different aspects are there. And together all these projects are having impacts on their local communities. So what we would like to see through these e-IDEA winners is not only the results of their projects, but we would like them to raise awareness about the issues around climate change and sustainability, and also to inspire others in their community to take action on this issue.
So basically what I designed is this LED surgical lamp which runs off a 12-volt car battery or a scooter battery, and the scooter battery is recharged from a solar panel. The product is like flat packed, so it starts out as this flat sheet of metal, and then it's sent to wherever the field hospital is, and then it's assembled into this shape, and it lights surgery, and it's very low cost and it's very sustainable, all made out of one material.
So you can grab these products any price, then you just try to connect your power cable into here, then twisting bottom component like up to 20 or 25 times, maybe like a 30 seconds. Then next 15 to 20 minutes, cycles being generated enough to be energy to charging your portable devices.
I think if we talk about the global climate change, we have to make the solution in the source, and it's in Asia. So if we solve the problem in Asia, we will solve the problem worldwidely. And what we have to make happen now is how can we do within Asian countries not only work for the climate change but also for the development economy within the region. And I think it's very possible to happen. And I think Indonesia has a potential to do it more because, yeah, I think we're a big country and we're ongoing developing country, and we have the opportunities to grab another developing country to go a further step as a developed country too.
Like I mentioned, the photography of the area is like a pan, and normal activities of the people in the city, sometimes they burn the organic waste, and this is become our city to be the smog in the dry season, and it is so worse condition because my province, this is like a very popular attractive for the tourists, and so most of the income and economic depend on the tourism. So when our city become the smog, the thing is happen is we decrease the economic rate, and also just only few people want to visit us, and we think that is the point. If we can clear about how to manage the waste, and then the smog will be better.
So we live in a world of limited resources, and we need to live and work in more sustainable ways, and also look at models for more sustainable economic growth. So e-IDEA, what we're trying to do with e-IDEA is we're looking to next generation leaders, and we're looking to help and support implement their projects. And the idea behind e-IDEA, of course, top-down policies by government and policies by corporate sector is very important, but also we think bottom-up initiatives are also very important. So the e-IDEA winners are people who are working within their communities to make them more sustainable, and we're looking to support them by mentoring, by training and providing seed money for their projects. We also want to connect them because we think their ideas have capacity to change not only their communities but their countries and also the region as well. So we're connecting e-IDEA winners nationally and also across borders so that they can come together to share their ideas. So this workshop in Indonesia that we've had has been a very important forum for bringing these people together so they can share their projects, their ideas and their opinions about what is necessary to make us a more sustainable world and community.
It's not only about to start a business, but also let the young people just engage with this kind of things, and because there are not only just these ideas, but also there are many ideas just hidden in the people's mind, and maybe we can just we start by ourselves, then we encourage other people to start their ideas. So we put all these ideas together, I think can make the environment people to pay more attention about the environment and just start to do it like this, and make people know more about our project. And also we will talk about maybe some investor angels, and maybe we'll get relationship to the government to let them know this what we are doing and get their help.
The Asia Pacific region is absolutely crucial for sustainability. It is the most important area of the world. If you look at the population size in Asia Pacific, you've got over half the world's population in the Asia Pacific area. If you look at just Southeast Asia, you've got 500 million people, which is about 10% of the world's population here. So actually it already has a large impact on the world in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, in terms of sustainability, but it's going to have an even larger impact on the world. And the reason for that is that economic growth here is so high, much higher than in parts of the world like Europe, that over time the population, the economies are going to grow, and therefore it will have an increased importance in the world in the future. And that is why an event like this at the moment is so important, and why decisions that are being taken at the moment are so important, because you've got countries in the region of Southeast Asia that aren't large emitters really of greenhouse gases, but because they're growing so quickly they could become large emitters in the future, and the decisions that they take at the moment will determine whether or not their economies in the future are based around fossil fuels and they emit a lot of greenhouse gases, or whether they try and go towards a low carbon economy, which means fewer emissions.
I was so surprised because some of the young generation that joined in this activity is actually coming, to be in our group before. So, well, this is exactly what we live, and the dream is coming true, because what vision and mission that we share with them is really lead them to the right direction in their path.
So for this regional launch of e-IDEA, we've come to Indonesia to bring the e-IDEA winners from the Asian Pacific area, and I think Indonesia is a very important country in terms of tackling climate change. When we look at issues around forestry and preserving forests, Indonesia has an important role to play. We also feel that Indonesia also is very much an entrepreneurship culture, that people are very interested in these particular issues. And by bringing e-idea winners to Indonesia, they have a chance to learn from some of the initiatives that are going on in Indonesia, and also to see some of the impacts, the real impacts of climate change on countries like Indonesia in the Southeast Asian region. So I think for the e-idea winners to come to Indonesia, they have a chance to learn from the many initiatives that are going on in Indonesia, and also to realize maybe some of the impacts that